We are back. Sam Seder in for the Goddess of Radio, Randi Rhodes. The number is 866-303-2270. We are streaming live on airamerica.com. Visit it today if you haven't visited yet. And you can also watch the program on the Sammy Cam, link at samsedershow.com. There is a S-chip vigil set for 5 p.m. Tuesday, October 16th in the Upper Senate Park, Constitution Avenue, between New Jersey and Delaware Avenues in Washington, D.C. On the phone, my temporary co-host for the next several moments, maybe longer if it works out, is my good friend Dane from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. I asked Dane before the break if he could tell me which is more efficient, Medicare, which is a single-payer health insurance program run by the government, which costs 3 cents on the dollar to operate and administer, or the private insurance system, which costs anywhere from 25 to 35 cents on the dollar to operate. Dane, which one is more efficient?
That's a good question. Am I on there?
Yeah, you're on, Dane. Now, one has only 3 cents per dollar administrative costs. The other has 25 cents per dollar on administrative costs. That means that in the private insurance industry, every dollar you spend, only 75% of it actually goes to health care. In Medicare, it's actually 97 cents. Which one is more efficient, Dane?
Well, that's a good question, like I said, but I don't really accept the premise of your question because I don't really know the numbers. I don't know.
Well, all right, I'll tell you what, Dane, let's make this easy. Let's just assume for the sake of argument, if I'm wrong, somebody will call in and tell me I'm wrong. But if those numbers are true, which one is more efficient? You can do it, Dane.
I'd say the latter.
The latter. You got to be more specific. Medicare or the private industry?
The Medicare.
There you go, Dane. I'm so proud of you, my friend.
I don't get Medicare, nor do I even want Medicare. I don't expect the government to do nothing for me because I believe you got to be a plumb fool to expect the government to do anything for you and to get it right on top of that.
All right, Dane, let me ask you a question about that. Where are you right now?
Where am I?
Yeah.
I'm in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania.
Are you driving?
Yeah.
You're not on a highway, are you?
Yeah.
Really? Are you aware what built that highway?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's tax dollars.
Tax dollars in the government.
Yeah.
So you might want to pull over because you're afraid of driving on that highway.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen some roads that would get you confused just trying to get off the interstate. You wouldn't know which way you're going.
All right.
I mean,
fair enough.
Stupid interstate.
Yeah, okay.
I'm telling you, that's just how it is.
Okay, and you're aware of things like, you ever flown in an airplane?
Have you ever flown in an airplane?
Yes.
Once.
Are you aware of the Federal Aviation Administration? That's
somewhat.
what kept that airplane from running into another airplane. Do you have diarrhea, Dane?
I'm not saying the government is all bad, but I am saying they're extremely wasteful, and the least you use them, the better off this country is.
Well, Dane, wait a second. You just agreed with me that Medicare is significantly less wasteful than private insurance.
Yep. Well, look at NASA. NASA spent $250,000 on a screwdriver to turn one screw.
Okay, so maybe we should make sure that NASA uses their funds more judiciously.
Well,
when we're talking about health care, Dane, and when we're talking about
about the government.
Well, Dane, do you understand what the government is? The government acts upon what the voters decide they're going to act upon. And the reason why the government has been so woeful the past 6 years, the reason why Katrina happened, is because there's a conservative ideology that government is bad, and they don't know how to run it, Dane. Listen, buddy, I want you to think about our conversation and call me back. Thanks for the phone call. Thanks for calling in. Folks, Dane is a prime example of someone who listens to Rush Limbaugh every day and has absorbed this notion that government is bad. But has Dane ever asked, well, if government's so bad, why do conservatives want to run it? And what do they do when they get there? I'll tell you what they do. Instead of putting someone with federal emergency or state emergency experience to head FEMA, they put in Joe Alba, who was a fundraiser for George Bush. And then they put in Brownie, who was a college buddy of Joe Alba's. Instead of funding things like the FDA, they make massive cuts in the FDA, and then all of a sudden, Salmonella's breaking out, E. coli's breaking out. Instead of funding the EPA, they cut back on the EPA and have it run by industry people who allow for more poison to go into our atmosphere. This is the conservative ideology. Larry in North Carolina, welcome to the program. Line 6. How are you, Larry?
Thank you. Well, I just want to say that I had to sell my business because health insurance became way too. It was more than my rent from my restaurant, so I had ended up selling it, and I had a very sick child, and luckily I sold the restaurant, and I actually had to use that fund to buy insurance because I had to take care of my children. And on one thing, we have a mandated insurance, actually mandated medicine we mandate vaccines, so I don't know why they don't mandate having health insurance.
There's a lot of programs out there that the Democrats have suggested that would, in fact, do that and then provide subsidies so that people can afford it. But here's the situation, Larry. I mean, how many times have you heard Republicans talk about the reason why we can't have taxes is because people need this money in their pocket, because this will help entrepreneurs just like you, small businessmen just like you. But the fact of the matter is, we are paying so much in health care because this system is so screwed up right now with the private industry that nobody has that freedom to do any of those things. And you're a perfect example of how it works just the opposite way.
And the odd thing is that they say it's a government run. We are the government. And people keep forgetting that. And I don't understand. If we want an efficient government, we have to demand an efficient government.
You're absolutely right, Larry. I appreciate the phone call. And you just hit on the one point that the right-wingers will never tell their listeners, will never tell their friends. It is that we are the government. The government is a manifestation of our collective will. Tom in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Welcome to the program, Tom.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here listening. I can't believe the things I've heard. Our government caused Katrina. That's what you just said.
What?
Yeah, that's what you just said while I was waiting.
I said our government caused Katrina?
Yeah, that's what you said.
No. If I did, Tom, which I don't think I did, but if I did, what I said is our government failed in helping out Katrina victims.
Lordy. Since when I'm a Republican, but we've all been
You're kidding me.
We are the government.
What's
but
that?
since when does it say that our government has to control every facet of our life, every single facet? When are we going to take responsibility for ourselves?
All right, well, Tom, how have I advocated that our government, by being a single payer of a health insurance, how is that controlling every aspect of our life? I mean, I can understand, Tom, if you call me and you say, look,
you're talking about insurance. I'm talking about you expect the government to run every facet of our life, to be in control of everything we do.
Tom,
That's not why we have a government.
Tom, you may have called the wrong program, because I did not say the government should control every facet of our lives. Now, if you call me, Tom,
you need access to the insurance. You need the government to do this for us. You need the government to control that for us. The government should control everything for us, but they don't have to.
Tom, I'm sorry. Listen, Tom, I'm going to have to let you go because I don't know what program you're listening to. I haven't said the government should control everything. Now, if you have that attitude and you call me and you say, hey, Sam, are you aware of this story that Verizon and AT&T have been giving phone records of U.S. citizens to the government to spy on us without warrants? And you call me up and you say, I don't want the government controlling everything. I don't want them to get... Well, I think you have a case to be made there, Tom. In fact, I would agree with you.
Who's screening these phone calls anyway?
Yeah, Lauren, are you sure this guy's listening to my program?
No.
The benefits for the phone call were absolutely real.
You have to turn that up.
This is call me turn. Believe it or not, this person actually believes what she said.
All right, let's take one more of these. Tom from Miami, Florida, welcome to the program, Tom.